All right, good afternoon to you and you're welcome to the program. It's Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Ania Fompofo, and this afternoon we come your way again with yet another, breakdown of reports that's coming in from the Global Info Analytics. We're still waiting for the new Patriotic Party to go to the polls as it prepares to select its flag bearer. We know that the candidates are already in the field campaigning for votes and throwing or maybe saying things that they want to say to their voters or delegates. Well, maybe I have to just confirm that we're going to be doing this with the Global Info Analytics from now to election day 2024, in the year 2024, when Ghana will go to the polls to vote and all that. So just prepare your mind as and when their polls are ready. We'll go through what they're gathering on the ground, and we'll also share so that the parties will have some help on what to work on. Mr. MUSSA DANKWAH will be with me pretty shortly. He's the Executive Director for the Global Info Analytics. So let's take a breather. When we come back, I'll introduce him. You're welcome back. Let's go into the screen. Mr. MUSSA DANKWAH is with me already, and he's standing by. You're welcome, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Annie.
Thank you. Thank you for your regular response to us. Right. So the last time we met, that was Monday, right? We went through the polls and how it was looking like before Alan Kyerematen actually stepped out of the race, and also before, what's his name? Mr. Kyerematen, that the former energy minister was also running for the same position, also stepped out of the race. So now we already know the top that are running for the flag bearership position. So let's see how it's looking like. Mr. DANKWAH, you name the polls what?
This is the opinion poll delegates.
Okay, 18th September.
18th September is the date of the poll, yes.
All right. So let's go now. Let's take us through.
As we normally do,
like.
we'll
right.
go through the methodology that we adopted for the polls, and then from there we'll zoom into the poll itself. We sampled 1,954 MPP polling station executives throughout the country. We picked them randomly and spoke to them over the phone. The poll has 95% confidence and plus or minus 2.17% margin of error. Mm-hmm. The samples to every region was weighted in the order of magnitude as far as delegates are concerned. And then the interviews were conducted between on the 6th to 10th September 2023. And it was over the telephone. Mm-hmm. Now, let's quickly look at the demography of the sample. 21% of the respondents or delegates were female. 79% were male. The delegates are heavily male-dominated.
Wow. Is it because they were randomly selected?
No. If you pick every 100 MPP delegates, 21 will be women.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. It's a male-dominated politics.
Right.
Now, if we look at the educational background of the delegates, 41% have junior high qualification. Senior high is 28%, tertiary 16%, and no education is 15%. Now, the first question we asked them was that now that Alan has withdrawn from the race, do you believe that his withdrawal will affect MPP's chances in 2024? 55% of MPP delegates believe that Alan's withdrawal would affect the fortunes of the party in 2024.
Really?
Yes.
55%?
Yes, of delegates.
So this is the national delegates, this is the grassroots?
Yeah, this is grassroots. Polling station executives. That is their view. 37% said no, they don't believe that.
What does that mean?
It means that over majority of the delegates believe that MPP's chances will be impacted negatively, effectively, by Alan's withdrawal from the race. They believe that he has constituents, and that if those constituents don't support the MPP,
Okay,
There could
in
be
2024.
Yes,
Okay.
2024.
Wow. But that's a huge number, no?
That's a huge number.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Now, then we ask them, who are they intending to vote for on November 4th at the delegate conference? 45% of the respondents or delegates said they would vote for His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. 18% said they will vote for Kennedy Ejapon. Dr. Owusu Akutu-Afriye got 0. Adainimo 0. But 17% said even though they knew who they want to vote for, they would not disclose that choice to us. 17%. That's quite huge. We don't know whether they are voting for Bawumia or Kennedy Ejapon.
Could that be from the Alan dropout?
We'll come back to that.
Okay.
And then 20% said they were undecided between Bawumia and Kennedy. So as you could see...
So let me hazard this. 18% for Ken.
Yes.
17 and 20 for not undisclosed and undecided.
Yes.
No, so that is what?
37%. That's a huge number.
Okay. So 37%, let me hazard this. If you add it to the 18%,
that will put him over the top.
And that will go ahead of Dr. Bawumia.
Yes.
But it's possible this 37% will
There may be some people there that are voting for Bawumia. Yes. So he is much closer to the finish line from this data than Kennedy or Ejapon. Now let's see the changes between before Alan stood down and after he stood down. What has been the movement? Remember, the first poll we did was in June when Bawumia was on 34%.
Yes.
Superdelegate gave him 68%. Before Alan withdrew, he was on 49%, just a fraction of a percentage away from 50% plus 1. But now, since Alan withdrew, he has dropped to 45%, a drop of 4 percentage points. You would have expected that with Alan withdrawing, he would get more, but he's gone down.
Yeah. So now, the Alan drop obviously is affecting Dr. Bawumia negatively.
Yes, here. It means that there were people perhaps who were telling us that they were going to vote for Bawumia, but in actual sense, they were Alan guys.
I thought maybe reasons changed where Alan dropped and so they got peeved and decided that we're not voting for you.
There could be so many factors. We didn't ask them, but we'll come to that anyway some point. We'll analyze what is happening. But from here, we could see that Bawumia suffered as a result of Alan's withdrawal by 4 percentage points. Before, in June, Alan was on 27.9%. Superdelegate gave him 10.3%. Before he withdrew, he was on 7%. Now let's look at Kennedy. Kennedy was on 12.5% in June. Superdelegate gave him 14.3%. Just before Alan withdrew, Kennedy was on 21%. And then after Alan withdrew, Kennedy dropped 3% to 18%. He also dropped.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, Owusu-Afriye, who was on 0.2 in June, was 3.9 in Superdelegate, 0 then and 0 now. If you look at Adainimo, he was 0.1 in June. He got 1% roughly in Superdelegate. He is on 0 and 0 now. Now, the movement is really within the not disclosed. Look at before Alan withdrew, those who said they would not disclose their vote were 12%. Now it's gone up to 17%, plus 5% increase between Alan withdrawal, between before he withdrew and after he withdrew.
After his
yes.
Withdrawal. So those who undisclosed increased.
Increased.
Okay.
It is possible Bawumia's losses may have come from people moving from him to now undisclosed.
Okay.
Or moving from him to undecided. Then we have those who said they were undecided, 11%. In June, it was 15.1%. Before Alan withdrew, it was 11%. Now it is 20%, up 9%. So you could see that the withdrawal of Alan has just managed or has just achieved movement in the undisclosed and undecided, and not really to any particular candidate, as far as delegates were concerned. Now, when we did the runoff before Alan withdrew, between Kennedy and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, before Alan withdrew, in that race, Bawumia was on 51%, and Kennedy on 26%. 23% said they would not disclose in that runoff. So before Alan withdrew, Bawumia was almost there, was there, 51%. Now let's see the situation now that Alan has withdrew between Kennedy and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It is very identical to the first round race because Afriya Koto and Adainimo had nothing at all. So the numbers were repeated in the runoff. So in the runoff, it is still 18% Kennedy, 45% Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, 20% not disclosed, and 17% undecided. This race will go down the wire. Unless something happens between now and the final poll, which will come at around 28th to 30th October, we'll see what's really happening.
So viewers should take note that this research was ready by the 18th of September. 18th of September. So just in case you're wondering.
Yes. Okay, so for now, this is where the numbers stand in the delegates. But they have a chance between now and November 4th to shift numbers. We hope that people will open up to us by October 30th and tell us who they're going to vote for. Otherwise, the numbers will still have a huge number of undisclosed and undecided.
Okay. So
let's look at the runoff. Before Alan stood down, Bawumia was on 51%. Now on 45%. It's dropped 6% in the runoff scenario. Kennedy was on 26% before Alan withdrew, and now on 18% after Alan withdrew, a drop of 8%. And then among those who said they will not disclose, it was 23% before Alan withdrew. Now 20%. I think it should be minus 3, not plus 3. And then we have undecided now 17%. Now, we did some analysis to see before and after withdrawal of Alan in the first round, what was the numbers like? For example, if you look at Ahafo region, in Ahafo, before Alan withdrew, Bawumia was on 64%. When Alan withdrew, by the 10th of September, Bawumia went up to 84%. He increased his numbers in Ahafo region.
Really?
Yes, he gained in Ahafo region.
Okay.
When you come to Ashanti region, before Alan withdrew, he was on 47%. And after Alan withdrew, 55%. Kennedy was on 19% before Alan withdrew and dropped to 11% after Alan withdrew. And not disclosed went up 18%, and undecided went up from 8 to 16%. So people moved from Alan, members moved from here into not disclosed or undecided. And so were people who were saying Kennedy also moved to that direction as well. In the Bono region, Bawumia was on 63%. Now 56%, he dropped.
For Bono?
In Bono. Kennedy was 19%, he's now 20%, slightly up. If you look at the Bono East, Bawumia was on 63%, is now on 61%, slightly dropped by 2%. And Kennedy was on 25%, he drops to 15%. Undecided in Bono now is 16%, up from 1%. And not disclosed is up to 7% from 5%. If you come to Central region, Bawumia on 25% before Alan withdrew. After he withdrew, the same 25%. For him, nothing has changed in Central region. Kennedy was on 25%, now 30% in central region. Not disclosed went up 5%, and then undecided came down from 24 to 17% in the central region. So there's a quite huge number of people who are not disclosing or undecided in the central region. Work needs to be done by the candidates in those regions. If you look at the eastern region, Bawumia was on 35% before Alan withdrew. When Alan withdrew, he went up to 47%. He made gains in the central eastern region when Alan withdrew. Kennedy was on 30% before Alan withdrew. After Alan withdrew, he got to 23%. And we have a huge number sitting in the not disclosed and also undecided.
So you have undisclosed, undisclosed.
And undecided together is about 30% in Eastern region.
Okay.
Combined, which is quite huge. Greater Accra, Bawumia was on 35%. He has now dropped to 26%. Kennedy was on 51%. He has dropped to 20%. He hasn't gained when Alan withdrew in Greater Accra. They both lost ground. But Greater Accra, not disclosed, has moved from 3% to 25%.
Yeah.
And then undecided moved from 8.
Does it say something about information flow in the region?
I don't think so.
In the Greater Accra region?
No, this was done several days after he has withdrew. So the news was there that he's no longer going. So people moved. Perhaps those who were Alanites moved from various columns and reinforced themselves into not disclosing or undecided.
Yeah, I'm just asking if that can be connected to information flow, since if you compare it to the other region, the changes were not as major as what we're seeing here in the Greater Accra region.
It is just about the situation in the regions specifically, not necessarily the information flow.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
If you look at Northeast, Bawumia on 90%, still 90%. Nothing has changed there. And then in Northern region...
So they say, we don't care.
Yeah, nothing. Before and after, nothing changed. Okay. And that's understandable. And then if you look at Northern region, Bawumia was getting 100% before Alan withdrew. When Alan withdrew, he dropped to 43%. Undecided has gone from 0 to 40% in the region. Now we have not disclosed 8% in the Northern region. Otik, there was no comparative, but now Bawumia on 38%, Kennedy 18%, and undecided 33%.
Why don't we have comparative in Otik?
The previous one, before he stood down, we were just about to start when he stood down, so we couldn't continue.
Down, so you didn't, yes, I remember, okay.
Then you have Savannah. Savannah, Bawumia on 31%, now 40%, it's gone up.
Okay.
And Kennedy was on 11%, he dropped to 2%. And not disclosed, it's gone up, and then undecided too has gone up. If you look at Upper East region, Bawumia has gone up from 46 to 57%. Kennedy dropped from 8 to 2%, so to 6%. Upper West region, Bawumia on 79, now 57. Ken was on 7%, now 28%. So he's gained quite a lot in Upper West region. In Volta region, Bawumia 42, now 34. Kennedy 14%, now 24%. Look at undecided, from 12% to 35% in Volta region. Not disclosed has declined from 11 to 7%. Western region, Bawumia was on 41%, now 54%. Kennedy was on 26%, now 22%. You have movement from not disclosed decline by marginally to 14%. And then undecided, 11%. Western North, Bawumia was on 51%, now 42%. Kennedy was on 27%, now 40%. It's gone up quite significantly in the Western region. So this is the movement in the regional vote for the first round when just before and after Alan withdrew. Now, we also did the runoff. Basically, no much difference between the runoff and the first round, so I'll skip the runoff. What we also did was that we looked at the Ahafo region, Ashanti region, Bono region, Bono East, Eastern region, Western North, what we call the Akan regions, and see what the rates look like in those regions. This is how it looks there. Dr. Bawumia leads in the Akan regions 44%, almost the same as his national average of 45%. You have Kennedy on 20%, slightly better than his national average of 18%. And then you have undecided 14%, and then not disclosed is 21%. I will not vote a fraction of 1%.
Too huge.
They're too huge, and we don't know what is going through their mind. Depending on how they behave, this race could turn very, very unpredictable. Then we looked at the swing regions. Greater Accra.
So I wanted us to go back to, so if you have Dr. Bawumia 44, undisclosed 21, I don't know, 14. And maybe during, if there's a runoff in Akan regions, and you have maybe Kennedy Japon, who is at 20% now, making about 45 or 50%, it just comes to say that these undisclosed and those people would have voted in his direction.
You can't entirely say so, but if they do vote his way in a big way, that could dramatically change the race.
Yes.
But we can't assume that among those who are undecided, none will go to Bawumia.
No, I'm not assuming that way.
Yeah.
I mean, either way.
Yes, yes.
So right now we have Bawumia on 44, we have Ken on 20.
Yes.
If either of them have their percentages changing, maybe appreciation, it definitely will be from these.
This group of people,
groups.
yes. Okay. So they will swing the race into any direction.
Yes, it's really major. It's huge. The numbers
for Bawumia to be very, very safe, he needs to stay around this number.
Okay.
It shouldn't fall below 40%. No. Then the swing regions. Greater Accra, Central region, Western region, and Northeast region, the swing regions of the country today. How does the race look like there? In the swing regions, Bawumia 35%, Kennedy 22%, undecided 18%, not disclosed 25%. So you're looking about 40-something percent. Yeah, 43%.
Yeah.
Or not 33%.
It's 28.
So that a huge number. 43%. Huge number of voters are in this block, and they can change the race any direction. It is very dangerous to have these huge numbers. It tells you of some uneasiness within the delegates, uncertainty, unease, and unwilling to speak. We also looked at the northern regions, all the northern regions put together to see how the race looked like in the northern region. So we have northern region, northeast, upper west, and savannah regions. In the northern sector, Bawumia comfortably on 53% among delegates. Ken, number I think is in plate, okay, we can do the calculation. Undecided 21%, not disclosed 15%, that gives you 36%. 36%, then the difference will give you Kennedy. Probably Kennedy will be around 15, 16%, thereabout.
Okay.
But 11% thereabout. Kennedy 11% in the northern sector.
Oh, okay. His percentage was not.
Yeah, 11 or about 10%. But this is another 1%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not doing well at all.
In the green field will be 11%.
Or 10%, because 1% here they said they will not vote.
Right.
So Kennedy will be around 10%.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's 1% here.
Yes. And then we look at voter region and OT separately, put together. But they don't fall into the Akans or northern sector or swing. Now, in the voter region and OT put together, Bawumia on 35%. You have not disclosed 16%, Kennedy 22%, undecided 26%. So quite huge number again. About 42% in OTM voter are yet to tell us or to decide who they want to vote for. So voter in OT is still up in the air from the delegates. But I'm sure these undisclosed, they are for either Bawumia or Kennedy, but they haven't told us.
Yeah.
Now, we did something to really understand the Allen voters or Allen delegates, what they were thinking. Now, we asked them before Allen stood down, who were you going to vote for? And then 40% of them said they were still going to vote for Bawumia. So those who we were speaking to that day between 6th and 10th, we asked them, before Allen stood down, what was your real voting intention?
Okay.
40% said they were going to vote for Bawumia. 17% said they were going to vote for Allen. 12% voting for Kennedy. Not disclosing was 17%, and undecided also 14%. So these were their voting intention when we spoke to them, that if Allen had not withdrawn, this is how they would have voted when we spoke to them.
But why don't we have any others? Oh, okay.
They had zero.
Oh, okay.
Now, we went into their minds to see how Allen supporters are being split among the rest of the candidates. So, for example, for those who said before Allen withdrew, they were voting for Bawumia, 98% of them still went ahead and chose Bawumia as their candidate.
For those who what?
Who said they would have voted for Bawumia before Allen withdrew,
Okay.
they still went
For
and
Bawumia.
chose Bawumia,
Okay.
98%. 1% moved from Bawumia to Kennedy when Allen withdrew, and another 1% said they will not disclose to us.
Such that Allen's stepping
Stepping down cost Bawumia 2%
to lose 2%.
of his original voting intention among those we spoke to that day. Now look at Allen supporters. That is where the magic number is. For those who were going to vote for Allen, after Allen withdrew and their responses, 31% now chose to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. That's what they said.
So, pause here. So we've spoken with a couple of team members on Allen's team who just a day or two after resolved to join the Bawumia. And these were not the grassroots, but the officials who were known to be, his campaign managers, to suddenly just shift immediately into the Bawumia camp. So I would say this probably doesn't surprise me, even if the grassroots
are behaving the same way.
Have also shifted and behaved
once
in
Allen
the same
is
way.
not there, they must decide what they want to do. And without any guidance from Allen as to where he is supporting, they will make that choice themselves. And from the survey we did, Bawumia gained 31% of those people who would have otherwise voted for Allen when he withdrew. 35% of them are voting for Kennedy. 1% said they will not vote. 8% did not disclose who they are voting for between Kennedy and the rest. 25% said they are now undecided.
Okay, huge.
A huge chunk undecided. Kennedy, after Allen withdrew, 2% of his supporters are now backing Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. 97% of them are still voting for him.
Okay.
1% did not disclose. So this is largely the movement we have seen.
So, okay, I think viewers should study this chart well because it's quite confusing.
Yes, what we are saying is that, you see, Allen is here,
Yes.
Bawumia is here, Alan is here, Kennedy is here, Akoto is here, Adainimo is here. This would have been the race if Alan hadn't stood down.
Okay.
But now this is the race now among the runoff. In the runoff, when Alan is no longer there, we have DMB and KOA. So how are the voters who were intending to vote for Bawumia in the runoff without Alan are voting now?
Okay.
That's basically what we're trying to do. We're trying to see who is benefiting from Alan's withdrawal.
Yeah.
Largely, it is Kennedy, because he's gotten 35% of Alan's supporters. But 31 still have gone to Bawumia, a third of them. And 25% said they are undecided. They will decide when the time comes. 8% did not disclose who they would have voted for anyway in the runoff. So it shows you the movement, and that's a critical number. How are Alanite delegates being split among the remaining candidates in the runoff?
Yeah.
And if Bawumia continues to get 1/3 of the Alanites, I think he will win the race. Unless the undecided, undisclosed broke entirely towards Kennedy Japan.
Or something shifts.
Yes, between now, there's time.
There's
between
a lot
now
of time.
and November, these numbers will change. So we are going to go back again sometime in October 21st to 30th or so with the final poll. We'll see that these numbers are still holding or they've changed materially.
Okay. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll finish with this chat. We'll take a breather. We'll be back shortly. All right, I was just going straight to the screen. Yeah, welcome back to Good Afternoon, Ghana. Let's finish this, and then we'll go back to our the regional breakdown that we actually jumped. Okay, so we'll finish with that.
After Alan has withdrew,
Alan stepping down.
Dr. Afuria Koto was zero, so it was zero throughout.
So he gained nothing.
Nothing. And nobody from his movement went anywhere else.
Okay.
But Adainimo had a small fraction. In the run, when Alan stood down, that number went to Bawumia. There was one delegate who was supporting Adainimo when Alan was there. When Alan withdrew, he changed his mind and voted for Bawumia.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's why we have 100% there.
Yes, so everybody that was backing him has gone to back Bawumia.
Okay, okay.
Now, not vote. There were people who said they will not vote in Alan before Alan withdrew, and the same number said they will not vote.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to undecided, those who were undecided, when Alan stood down, 1% of them went to Bawumia. 15% now went to not disclosed.
Okay, so undisclosed gained 15%.
Yes.
From Alan's step down.
Yes.
Okay.
No, yes, 15%.
Yeah. Okay.
But prior to that, they were undecided.
Okay. And then
when Alan stood down, they're not saying that, okay, they know, but they won't tell us. And then you have 84% of them are still undecided.
Undecided, okay.
Sometimes when somebody stood down or steps down, you have a big movement in the people who are saying undecided.
Right.
Here, it dropped by just 16%.
Okay.
For those who said they would not disclose to us, when Alan stood down, 1% went to Kennedy. A tiny fraction went to Kennedy. Still, 93% said they will not disclose.
Okay.
And 6% now said they are now undecided. So this is the movement between the numbers that give us the runoff scenarios.
Okay.
Clearly, Dr. Bawumia has gained 31% of Alan supporters.
Okay.
If he continues to get that number, we believe he will cross over the 50% plus one.
All right. So let's use the regional, the one we jumped, the regional breakdown that we jumped from, so that we can actually use it to finish. That's
okay. We are here.
That's it.
So
right?
we looked at the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Kennedy Japan in a runoff in all the regions before and after Alan withdrawal. Let's see how it looks. In the runoff in Ahafo, Bawumia was on 66%, now 84%, largely the same as the first round. In Ashanti region, he was on 50%, now 56. Kennedy, 26, now 12%. Bono region, 64, 56 now, drop. And for Bawumia, Kennedy, 21 to 20%. Bono East, Bawumia, 66%, now 62%. Kennedy, 28%, now 15% runoff in Bono East region. In Central region, 24% for Bawumia, now 23%, slightly reduction from the first round numbers. And Kennedy was on 37%, now 30%. Not disclosed, 39%, now 34%. Undecided, up 12%. Eastern region, Bawumia 39%, now 48%. Kennedy 31% before Alan stood down, and now 22%. And you have huge number, 18% not disclosing, and 12% said they are undecided. When it comes to Greater Accra, you see Bawumia 39%, now 26% runoff. Kennedy was 51%, now 20%. Then you have not disclosed 10% up to 26%, and undecided is 27% in Greater Accra now. So a huge number to play with in Greater Accra, close to 43%. In fact, 53% in Greater Accra. Okay. That is huge. Then Eastern Northeast, 1990.
For the undisclosed and not...
Yeah, put together. They can really swing the race anywhere in Greater Accra. Northeast, 1990, no change. Northern region, 143. And Kennedy was 0, now 8%. 38 in OT, 18 for Kennedy, and not disclosed 10%, undecided 33%. Savannah, 35 to 41, Bawumia up. Kennedy dropped quite hugely, 25 to 2% in Savannah runoff. And then not disclosed, 39, dropped to 34%, and undecided has gone to 22%. So you could see that people move from Kennedy to undecided significantly in Savannah. Upper East, Bawumia, 50% before, after 59%. He's gained. Kennedy, 9, now on 6. Not disclosed, 40%, now 11%. Undecided, 22%. Movement is around there, and then to Bawumia. Upper West, 71 to 54 for Bawumia. Kennedy, 17 to 28, he gained. And then Volta region, 44-34 for Bawumia, a drop. And then Kennedy, 29-24, a drop. Not disclosed, 18%, but huge increase in people who are saying that they are undecided. Then you have Western region. Bawumia now on 54, up from 43%. Kennedy, 27%, now 22%, down 5%. Not disclosed, 27%, now 16%. Then you have Western North, Bawumia 51 before, and now 42%, a drop. And Kennedy, 30%, now 40%, and an increase of 10%.
For Western region.
For Western North region.
And then Western, something is working for Alan in Western region, Western North. Oh, I'm wrong. And maybe Central.
Yes, I mean, Central looks very competitive for both Bawumia and Kennedy. And Western, I think Western, for all along, Bawumia has been stronger in Western region than even Alan. Yes. Yes, okay. In the previous polls, he's been stronger in Western region than Alan. Western North, he's dropped slightly. In fact, he dropped about 9% in Western North.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think that is the regional breakdown for the runoff in the regions pre-withdrawal and post-withdrawal.
But, okay, so what we have actually looked at, even though we've looked at the breakdown of runoffs, the numbers, especially with what we're recording with undisclosed and what's?
Undecided.
Undecided, they're huge.
Too huge.
They're as so huge that They may,
They will.
they will,
Yes.
or may not.
No,
We
because
have
the numbers
undecided.
put together are quite material, very huge. In some cases, over 50% of the delegates were undecided or they will not disclose. You can't have a poll to be accurate with this huge number. People refusing to talk, definitely it's not good for the poll numbers. People who are saying undecided, not good enough. Because you remember the margin of error is 2.7%. And these numbers are probably 10 times that margin of error.
Yeah.
So it means the poll is widely open.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So adjusting the headline poll with margin of error is not good enough because people have refused to speak or they are saying they are undecided. If you have the sum of undecided and not disclosed around, put together maybe around 6%, then you could make projections.
Yeah.
But these numbers are so huge that
Really
you cannot
huge.
do any projection with it.
Really, really huge. And so then is it not too early to, maybe it's early days yet, after Alan stepped down, which has also contributed to the huge numbers of undisclosed and undecided?
These responses reflect the reality on the ground. It tells you that people are not very comfortable speaking their mind. It reinforces the belief that if you speak your mind or if you let people know who you are voting for, it could lead to something. So people prefer to say that they are undecided. They may not necessarily be undecided,
Yeah.
but they want to play it safe. And those who said they will not disclose, they know who they want to vote for, but they won't tell us why. There must be a reason why they won't disclose. So it has made the race really difficult to predict using the polling numbers. We are hoping that by the next time we go back, they will feel a lot more free to speak to us. If the numbers remain as huge as this in terms of not disclosing on undecided, then it's going to be way up in the air by 4th November.
Can it really, can there be a major change or shift depending on the campaign that's being run by either of the candidates, the things that that are being said, especially pertaining to the Kennedy Japon's campaign, which he himself has been saying a lot of things. You hear Dr. Baumia saying that, well, I'm not going to be
What we found is
responding
that
to insults.
people
and all that.
backing Dr. Mahmoud Baumia largely affirmed in their mind as who they want to elect as a flag bearer for the MPP. Some of the people who are sitting on the fence are not quite sure about Kennedy yet. So depending upon how he carries his campaign going forward, he could convince some people to vote for him. Again, that doesn't exclude Dr. Baumia too from going into that camp and getting people who are undecided to join his camp. So those who are undecided, if they are genuinely undecided, they are up for grab. They can be poached by both camps onto their camp. But those who said they will not disclose, they actually know who they are voting for, just that they won't tell us.
All right. So, well, that's what it looks like as far as the polls today, as of September 18, is concerned. That's how it looks like on the grounds, with huge numbers in the 20s percentages undisclosed and undecided. Are we going onto the grounds again before?
Yes, we are planning to go back on the 21st of October to interview similar number of delegates across the country, and we hope the report should be out by 30th of October, maybe 3 or 4 days before the delegate elections.
Yeah, 3 or 4 days before the election.
We are hoping that they will open up. We pray that they do open up.
If they don't open up, we still cannot predict. We can only give you how the numbers
predict.
look.
We just leave the poll numbers as they were and saying that we can't tell who is going to win. Then the results will be based on what really happens on the day. But you cannot use these numbers to do any predictions. Absolutely not.
Mr. MUSSA DANKWAH, we're grateful. We're grateful. But before I let you off, which I'm also going off, let me just put this out where the National Democratic Congress served as a notice and copied to media houses suspending of all party activities across the country So this letter read, I bring you warm greetings from the headquarters of the party, that's the NDC, the Functional Executive Committee, FEC, at its meeting on the 18th of September 2023, deliberated on the limited registration exercise organized by the Electoral Commission and decided that all party activities in the regions and constituencies should be suspended until the limited registration is over. So it is to enable the executives of the party at all levels focus exclusively on the exercise and mobilize people to register. Please take notes of this directive and comply accordingly. It's signed by Barbara Esamwa, who is the Acting General Secretary now. So some of you are also sending me, I cannot confirm, but on the platform, you sent me pictures that have seen people in queues, right? And these people that I see in queues are minors. We have to still confirm that. It's allegedly, right? But some of the regions are registering minors and they are sending it like water. So we will send our cameras to go and check, yes, if we can verify that before we can actually put these pictures out, or maybe notify the Electoral Commission. But officially, I can actually notify the Electoral Commission that some people are sending pictures of having seen minors lined up in queues to register. So the Electoral Commission should pay attention to this and see what it can do about it. Right. So that's what time allow us. Mr. MUSSA DANKWAH, anything you want to add before you go off?
Yes, about the minors registering. The laws allow you to register a protest or to raise a query.
Oh.
If you believe they are young, just raise objection and then it will be taken up. Don't let them go through that objection.
And then before you...
That will be too late.
And then we'll spend money to expunge their names from the register.
Anyway. You see, that's why I advocate for that. If we have to spend a lot of money on NIA, you see, it is, people don't forge their ages when they are doing NIA cards because it takes 3 years before you get to voting age. So with the NIA card, that is a passport for automatically enrolling you to vote. But when you're given just the voting card is just voting card. It goes beyond nothing.
And you can just drop it anywhere.
Yes.
I agree. I thank you for your time. All right,
pleasure.
so this is what time will allow us to also follow through with the limited registration exercise. We'll bring you more updates in the various news bulletins that we'll be bringing you more in news beats and news nights. My name is Ania from Pofo. Thanks for watching.